Listen carefully. What unfolded during the absolute demolition of the New Zealand national team by the United States was far more than a standard basketball game. This was a precision-engineered, ruthlessly efficient corporate liquidation broadcast live to the world. The final score, 101-46. Let that sink in. A 55-point margin of victory is not a normal sporting outcome. It is a seismic statement of dominance, both geopolitically and within the hyperpolitical hierarchy of women's professional basketball. The mainstream media will politely frame it as a dominant performance or a team effort. But the real insiders, the operators who understand leverage, market share, and institutional power, see the truth. This was a hostile takeover of the highest order. This was not a game. It was an unrelenting execution of supremacy on a scale never before witnessed in this sport. For months, the entrenched gatekeepers of Team USA and the broader WNBA ecosystem have played a dangerous, politically motivated game of delay and suppression. They sought to protect the legacy hierarchy and shield the old guard from the irresistible gravitational pull of the new generation. Every institutional lever was pulled to keep the brightest star in the universe confined, restricted, and monitored. But the dam has finally shattered. The establishment could no longer defend their institutional malpractice, and inevitably, they were forced to hand over the keys to the global franchise. Caitlin Clark, the single most valuable athletic and commercial asset on the planet, now commands the court, and the world is watching.
New Zealand finally in the starting lineup. It took long enough. It took long enough. Stephanie White, I know your skin was crawling when you saw her in the starting lineup. I know you didn't like that. Caitlin Clark led Team USA to a more...
The moment Caitlin Clark's name hit the starting lineup card, the entire landscape of international basketball, economically, psychologically, and tactically, shifted irreversibly. Try to comprehend the staggering magnitude of placing a generational disruptor, someone who has already reshaped TV ratings and corporate sponsorship models, among the most lethal, hyper-efficient athletes in the world. The result? A 101-point offensive avalanche, so dominant it forced the opposing federation to question the very foundation of their program. Clark stepped onto the hardwood like a ruthless CEO, taking control of a failing Fortune 500 company. In just 23 optimized minutes, she dictated the spatial geometry of the court, scoring 14 ultra-efficient points and delivering 6 precision assists that dismantled the structural integrity of the New Zealand defense. But the box score barely scratches the surface. Clark didn't just score. She systematically broke the psychological will of the opposition, bending their entire defensive scheme and scouting plan to her gravitational pull, creating massive, undefended lanes for her teammates. Meanwhile, the backcourt synergy between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers was nothing short of a corporate merger in motion. This wasn't merely exciting basketball. It was a monopolistic operation designed to dominate and render the rest of the world uncompetitive. Bueckers logged 24 minutes of absolute operational brilliance, blending her elite processing speed with Clark's unbridled vision. Together, they transformed the floor into a rigged marketplace, generating unprecedented returns for the national program while making a game that is usually impossibly complex look effortlessly simple. Bueckers' 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists are merely footnotes. She was the COO to Clark's CEO, ensuring every offensive transaction was executed with zero wasted energy. The true brilliance of this 55-point annihilation lies in the stark, undeniable contrast between the unstoppable, high-speed future embodied by Clark and Bueckers and the slow, decaying inefficiency of the outdated systems they replaced. It was more than a win. It was a declaration that the era of generational dominance has arrived.
Second group, they absolutely, like, that second group went off. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Chelsea Gray still starting. I don't know why. Chelsea Gray does not need to be a starter. It is what it is, man. Chelsea.
The established hierarchy is absolutely petrified of what Caitlin Clark represents because her unmatched mathematical efficiency ruthlessly exposes the physical obsolescence of the old guard. We need to have a brutally honest conversation about seniority in elite professional sports. Seniority is not a measure of current production. It's a toxic corporate metric designed to protect legacy employees who can no longer justify their market value through actual performance. Chelsea Gray is a decorated traditional point guard with an impeccable resume, championships, accolades, a history of brilliance. But the modern hyper-evolved pace that Caitlin Clark has imposed on the game is unforgiving to players whose lateral mobility and burst speed have declined. The speed of transactions is now too high for legacy hardware to process effectively. Starting players based on past achievements rather than current objective performance is a guaranteed recipe for disaster in high-stakes international competition. The visual contrast on the court is striking. When Clark runs the offense, the ball flows like a high-frequency trading algorithm, instantly identifying and exploiting defensive inefficiencies in fractions of a second. When legacy guards are on the floor, the offense bogs down into slow, predictable isolation sets that generate minimal leverage. The global market has moved on. The paradigm has shifted. The new board of directors, the next generation, has taken permanent control. And if you think Clark's threat is limited to her deep 30-foot logo-range shots, you're missing the bigger picture. Over the offseason, she hasn't been resting on endorsement deals or playing it safe. She's been aggressively expanding her offensive arsenal, methodically monopolizing every inch of the half-court and elevating her game to a level that leaves the entire league scrambling to keep up.
She do it all. She literally, Caitlin Clark has added to her bag. I don't know if y'all know, Caitlin Clark has added to her bag. It's about to get spooky. It's about to get so spooky for these WNBA teams.
She has now added a devastatingly efficient, biomechanically flawless mid-range game to an already overflowing offensive arsenal. She attacks the pick and roll with surgical precision, stopping on a dime with jaw-dropping deceleration, and launching pull-up jumpers that are virtually unblockable, completely dismantling the opponent's defensive drop coverage in the process.